back. Alright. Get the green one out of the way. Starting over with Voraclex. 5 mana, trample reach, 6/6. He's always fucking strong. When it's battlefield, search for up to 2 forest cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle. It doesn't matter for limited, but they don't say basic. So they can be triumphs, dual lands, whatever. And then his flip ability is pay 8, exile him, return to the battlefield under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery. So when you get him out at 5 and you put 2 to make him, you have 7 mana total. Assuming you drew a land or played a land on the turn after you played him, you can flip him right then, which makes him probably the easiest of them to flip so far. And then his first ability, mill 10 cards and put up to 2 cards from among them onto the battlefield. That's bananas. And then his next one, distribute +7/+1/+1 commands on any number of target creatures you control. Probably 2 big guys. Or anything else. Till end of turn, creatures you control get +1. This creature fights target creature you don't control. And exile it and get him back and get 2 more forests. So he's really good. He's like probably the best limited one. Doesn't have haste, which is good because he'd be fucked up. But yeah, he's probably the best. I'm gonna put him A+. Value and the skills and the ramp is like over his value easily. Unfortunately, Urabrath, despite being probably the best Urabrath they've ever printed, he still can't kill any of the other Praetors just by default. So, yeah. And his backside, considering you could very likely flip this the turn after you play him. East and A. If there's any creatures left by the third part of that, you've been barreling through them. Like you got 2 fresh guys immediately after he flips. Pumped a bunch of creatures up with 7 counters. At minimum, you've got 2 bodies that are really fairly large, unless your opponent just killed them right away. But and then if he gets to come back, he gets to just fight whatever's left, and he's so far the biggest straight character or straight guy other than the 7/6 dragon out of the regular creatures so far. So very, very, very good as Voraclex. Then Red and Realmbreaker. Wow, this card is spicy good stuff here. 3 mana Planeswalker comes in with 4 loyalty. Lands you control have add 1 mana of any color, so it's just insta-fixing, but you need double green to start. +1 is up to 1 target land you control becomes a 3/3 elemental creature with vigilance, hexproof, and haste until your next turn. It's still a land. So you can swing with it, you can block with it, it'll still have vigilance to tap for land itself or to convoke if you really needed to do that instead of casting the land for any color. You could. -2, mill 3 cards, put a permanent card from among them into your hand, which is less relevant, but the first one's going to be all you need for the most part. You get an emblem with you may play lands and cast permanent spells from your graveyard. So +1 to get the -7. Do that, and then do it on 7, because you can just cast Ren again from your graveyard once it's down to 0. Like, it's hard not to consider that anything less than an A. Just because it's 3 mana. It's really good. It immediately gives you at least a 3/3 that sticks around until your next turn. So Ren is safe at worst. say you don't draw lands for a couple turns, you can still protect it and keep yourself good. Crazy good. Crazy good. Invasion of Chandalar. It's been a while since we've seen Chandalar. Battle Siege, 3 green for 4 life. Invasion of Chandalar in this battlefield, return up to 3 target permanent cards from graveyard to your hand. The front side I don't think is super relevant. Limited. Maybe mid to late game, but have to really see how long stuff goes. But the backside, needs some strong mills. So either Vorin Klex or some of the black cards that let you just chuck your graveyard into the, or chuck your deck into the graveyard, get some stuff back, then you get to just cast stuff for free. But it's not cast, it's just put it on the battlefield. So some stuff specifies cast, and this will not trigger those, but a lot of stuff just says ETB, so it's fine. Alright, Invasion of Chandalar is... It's a Coria. Blind. Ah, there it is. Put the front side at C. The back side is just gas, so that's it. Listening Dawn. 2 green. Incubate X twice, where X is the number of lands you control. So on its face, you get 2 4/4s, which is pretty okay, but you still have to pay 2 more mana for it, for each of them, which means you're paying 8 mana for 2 4/4s. Is like straight on cost. But it gets better for every land you have above 4. When you're paying 8 mana for 2 5/5s, or 8 mana for 2 6/6s, you're getting above that. So it's a weird one to grade, because at base value it's a C, but it gets better every land you have more than it. So get it. I hope you have a lot of ramp, which is not hard to do in green, but I'll grade it at the base value. But that just gets better and better every extra land you have. So Ancient Imperiosaur, 7 mana, dinosaur type, doesn't really matter. Green, 6/6, Invoke, Trample, Ward 2. When it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it for each creature that convoked it. What the fuck? The timmiest cards that ever lived are in this set. Alright. Blind. There you go. At 7 mana, I don't think it's that good. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. I think it's very good for 7 mana. I just don't like paying 7 mana for creatures. I want 6 and less, generally. But it kind of barely needs Convoke. If it was 1 mana less, it's just flat good already. So if you Convoke it with anything, it's an 8/8 Trample, which is gross. It just gets grosser for every other convocable thing you have on it. Like at minimum it's a B. Colossal Dreadmaw with protection that gets better if you have any creatures out the turn before you play it. So it's bonkers. Deeproot Wayfinder, 1 green, Merfolk's Coat, doesn't matter, 2/3, so it's above rate for default. Whenever it deals damage to a player battle, surveil 1, and you may return a land card from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. It's like Dark Explorer, I guess is the best way to put it. Because if you see a land, you chuck it to the graveyard and you get it to the field rather than to your hand. But you don't get the counter. It's a C plus at least. Like it's good, but it's not having it like survive combat is going to be the issue. But mana, it's very strong. So C plus. Ozolith, the stopped again. My door opened to let some cool air in, but my toes were getting cold. Ozolith, the Shattered Spire, legendary artifact, 1 green. If one or more +1/+1 counters put on an artifact or creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. So it's hardened scales, but it also hits your incubate tokens. And you can just pay 2 to put a counter on something. And you can cycle it if you had more than one of these in your deck somehow. It's pretty good. It's like essential icing for the +1/+1 counters and the incubate deck. C plus, but don't run it if you don't have counters. Obviously, like just cycling, it's not terrible, but it's not a great way to play it. Tribute to the World Tree. Green, green, green. So almost a mono green deck unless you're playing Ren and Realmbreaker and you got all the land fixing. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. If its power is 3 or greater, otherwise put 2 counters on it. So if it's 2/2, it's a 4/4. If it's 3 or more, you get to draw a card. That's just stupid gas, especially in green decks. Plus, Doomscar Krieger. 2 green, green. Doomscar Warrior, there we go. Human Warrior, backup +1, trample. Whenever this creature does combat damage to a player or battle, look at that many cards on top of your library, reveal a creature or land card from among them, put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library and Ren order. So it's a 4 mana, 4/3 trampler that could be a 5/4 if you didn't have a creature, or you're making something else slightly bigger, trample, and you get to filter for land or creature if you hit a battle or player. Blech. It's very good. Tempted to call that a B too, because even if you're pumping a 2/2 to a 3/3 and you're getting through with 1 damage, you're getting to just filter a couple more cards away, which is just super good for limited blocks. All the big dumb green stuff here. Volcranos Reborn. Green, green, green. Hydra. Reach 4/5 for 3. And if that isn't good enough, you get to pay 6 and 2 life, or 7 if you're playing white, to transform him into Volcranos Engine of Ruin. Like he's spitting a bunch of oil out there too. Reach lifelink. He turns into Wormcoil Engine essentially, but not better Wormcoil Engine, just different Wormcoil Engine. I don't think there's any other Hydras in this set to trigger his ability there, but he does work if other Hydras die. You get 3/3 green and white Phyrexian Hydra token with reach, and 3/3 green white Phyrexian Hydra token with lifelink. It's gross. 6/6 reach lifelink. He's like a fantastic, crazy blocker. And he gets swings. Doesn't have trample, but who cares? If he dies, you get bodies back too. Like, a lot of super strong green stuff so far. That's a B plus. Backside is at least a B plus too. All right. Nation of Ikoria. X green green. Invasion of Ikoria enters the battlefield. Search your library and graveyard for a non-human card with mana value X or less. Go on the battlefield, and if you search your library this way, shuffle 6 life. So, just for an example, you could pay 5 and get Polkarnos out of your deck, or 4 and get any good 2/2 you got in your deck. Doesn't matter the color as long as it's not a human. Pretty good. The backside's also pretty good. If you can flip it, which you just added a free body to your field, so you should be able to flip it. Maybe not this turn, but the next turn. Reach. Zalortha, Apex of Ikoria, legendary dinosaur, since they don't matter. Reach. Each non-human creature you control, you may have that creature assign its combat damage as though it were not blocked. 8/8. Why are all the green things so beastie? Invasion of Ikoria is that one? Nope. That one. Nope. Blind. Ah, there we go. That search side is a little dependent on how much you put it in, so it kind of fluctuates between E to C. But at the rate of paying 4 and getting a good 2/2 out of it, it's not bad, especially considering some of the above rate green creatures already in here. The backside, Zalortha. Obviously, like, stupidly good. Big 8/8 with reach, so it blocks when it comes out at the very least. And then it allows your other non-human creatures to get through for free. So it's a B. Depending on your field, you could just kill somebody as soon as you play that. So Invasion of Ixalan. 1 in a green, 4 life. Invasion of Ixalan is the battlefield. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in the random order. It's good. It's a permanent, so it doesn't have to be a land, doesn't have to be a creature, doesn't have to be a non-human thing. Like, they've printed a lot of cards like this in other sets where it's like, pay 1 mana to find a land off the top 3 cards of your library. This is just better than all of those. Playing it at 2 is not really a huge impediment in this kind of slower tempted format, but it's a C+. Belligerent Regisaur. 4/3 trample dinosaur. Whenever you cast a spell, gains indestructible. Okay. Any spell. Just cast a creature, you got a big indestructible dino. It's not too big, which is I guess the trade-off there, but it's still pretty good. 4/3 indestructible trampler. Yeah. Alright. I don't like their flip cards as much in the mono green side though, so. Instructor de Herbologia, Criatura Druida Pueblo o Barrio. Treefolk Druid, Herbology Instructor. 2 mana, 1/3. So it's a great, solid little early defender. Enters battlefield, gain 3 life. Flip it, and you gain 3 life. Okay. 6 mana and a black, or 2 Phyrexian is a little expensive for me, but its removal on the backside is their strong part. If you had counters on it, they stay when it flips, so it can be bigger flips. But 3 mana, or sorry, 3 toughness or 3 damage is kind of the sweet spot for a lot of the natural creatures. They just die on the other side, so this is a B. The front side is a solid C. Like, life gain's not super essential, but 2 mana for a 1/3 that also gains you life is totally fine. Copper Host Crusher. Phyrexian Bear Rhino. Hey, look at this! An 8/8 for 8 with Trample and Hexproof. Fucking Christ. There's not enough edicts in this set to get around Hexproof. Not that many things that remove it. So, good luck, I guess. If they get it out, that's D. Maybe it's too expensive. It doesn't have a Convoke, so it's C+. That's very stupid. Sandstalker Moloch. 1 green lizard. Type doesn't matter, but it's pretty nice art. 4/2 with Flash. Okay. Sandstalker Moloch enters the battlefield if an opponent took cast a blue or black spell this turn. It's got Veil of Autumn staple onto it. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from them and put it into your hand. Put the rest of them on. What the fucking... Why a permanent card? Why not just a creature or something? These are like too good. Right. Where is it? Blind again. There it is. Flash 4/2 for 3 is so above rate, and it has a nice bonus effect on top of it. Good. Right. Tandem Takedown. Instant. Colorless green. Up to 2 target creature controls get +1/+0, then they each deal damage equal to their power to another target creature, planeswalker, or battle. They each deal damage equal to another. So they double fight a thing. So this should kill just about everything that isn't buffed in some way. With the exclusion of some of these absurd green creatures, almost everything in the set has 6 toughness is kind of the cap. So if you have 2 2/2s, this should kill everything before they get buffed. I don't quite like it because you don't really get the max out of it without having 2 creatures, but you could still kill 1 thing for 3, which is not bad, but not great. So D+. I guess that's kind of always the downside of the green removal, is that it's got to be fight, or you need to have a creature to really resolve it in a good way. So C, because it's actually kind of limited and expensive for that kind of spell. Invasion of Morganda. I do not remember this plane at all, but that poor raptor is getting yoinked. 4 and a green, 6 life. Invasion of Morganda enters the battlefield. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So 5 mana, counter, and a fight spell. I'd give it a C+. It is removal. Clears the way for the battle to get attacked properly. Primordial Plasm. Beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature gets +2/+2 and loses all abilities to end a turn. I don't know what I think about that, because there haven't been many creatures that have like strict downsides to maybe negate the loss of their trample or reach or give other creatures cool shit. But +2/+2 for free is nothing to sneeze at, so give this guy a C+ as well. Invasion of Zendikar, 3 and a green for 3 life. Whoever uses Zendikar enters the battlefield, search the library for up to 2 basic land cards. Put them onto the battlefield, tap. Shuffle. That's great. 4 mana is the perfect breed for that ability. And 3 is really low, so it's easy to trigger this backside. Vigilance and haste, as long as it's lives. Why? 4/4 Vigilance haste is like kind of easy to get out compared to these other things. Alright. That's straight on value at C. This is a C+. Vold Hornet, or Hermit. 3 and a green for a 4/4. Totally straight value there, so let's see. Transform is for 5, so you can cast it the next turn if you pay life, or 5 and a blue. Chrome Host Hulk. Whenever it attacks, oh, this guy, yeah. He makes one of your 1/1s into a 5/5. It's essentially doubling your swinging power. This part doesn't protect things, doesn't give them evasion, but makes things bigger across the board. C+, and the front side's a C. Green so far seems really good. On the seed card, probably the best art in the set. It's super nice. A 2 green sorcery. It's overrun essentially, but a little different and a little cheaper. Distribute 4 counters among 4 target creatures you control. Creatures you control gain vigilance and trample. You don't want too many of these in your deck, but you want one of them at the very least. Like, it's just so good. Ravenous Sailback. Oh, this guy, yeah. 4 and a green for a dinosaur for 3/4 that can gain haste or destroy a target artifact or enchantment. That versatility is strong. 5 for a 3/4 haste is not great, but 5 to also pop. One of the few ways to destroy artifact enchantment so far, so I'll give that a C+. Wise Negotiator, 2 mana for an 0/2 with a backup 1. So you get to buff something, and assuming it's lopsided power toughness and not like a 3/1 or something, you actually wouldn't want that. But for this guy, you have being a 1/3 if you put it on himself. It makes him a 3/3, so he's just straight above rate. The versatility he gets from being able to choose where the counter goes is really strong too, so he's straight up C+. Kami of Whispered Hopes. 3 mana, spirit, 1/1. If one or more counters we put on a permanent you control, that many +1/+1 counters, that many +1/+1/+1 counters are put on that permanent instead. Add X mana. Gross. Gross. A little weak on the start, but you can buff it with backup so easily. And it's like another hardened scalesy type effect. Skyline, 4 and a green enchantment. Gain 5 life and incubate 5. I don't like these enchantments that do the incubate thing. This one and the blue one I think are probably the weakest. Like, reach doesn't really make a big difference at this late, but there are a lot of little flyers in this set, so a 5/5 reach would just tear those apart for the most part. But you still have to pay another 2 to make a 5/5, so I don't like the big expensive ones. I prefer this would be like a 3 and a 3 plus 3 or less. That would be great. But less. The first weak card. Because you gotta have Phyrexians, and if this is the only incubate thing you got going, I don't think it's really that good. And there's also not a lot of green Phyrexians so far. Placid Rotten Tail, 1/1 Fungus Rabbit, adorable, disgusting art. Vigilance, 1/1 Rabbit for 1. So he's a little above rate. Exile it from the graveyard, put 2 counters on target creature, or activate only as a sorcery. Okay, so he gets C+ because 1/1 for 1 with Vigilance is a little above rate, but the exile from the graveyard to get those counters is actually quite strong too. It's a lot of things have backup 1, not many things have backup 2. There aren't that many spells so far that I've seen put counters on things. There's a couple, but not that many, so a lot of those counters seem to come from backup or like artifact or enchantment rare that lets you sink some mana into. War Historian, 2 and a green, Human Monk, doesn't matter. 3/3 for 3 with reach. It's indestructible as long as it attacked in battle. Oh, okay. So 3/3 for 3 with reach is already above rate. The indestructible for battle thing is not super relevant, but it will be when you need it to be, basically. That's adorable looking art, and it's been a while since we saw Pest. Overgrown Pest, 3 mana, 2/2 Pest. Overgrown Pest on his battlefield, look top 5 cards of your library. If you have a land card or a double-faced card, there we go, there's a conditional search. From among them, put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. 3 mana for a 2/2 is kind of below rate, but that ability is pretty good dig. Give it C. Converter Beast. It's a cool spiky thing. 4 mana, 0/1 Phyrexian Beast. So the beast doesn't matter, but the Phyrexian does. Converter Beast is incubate 5. Jesus Christ. So you're paying 6 mana for a 5/5 and an 0/1. I'll put that in the D+ category. There aren't as many Phyrexian Matters cards or Incubate Matter cards as I expected in this thing. But the Incubate stuff plays well with the counter stuff, so they could find a good place, or they could just not fit in that well at all. But both of the cards I put in the D+ are just the Incubate cards. Bonded Herd Beast, 5 mana for a 4/5. That's pretty good on rate. He transforms for 4, so you can do it immediately the next turn, or 5 if you pay red. 7/5 menace. Good Christmas. So that's C+, but the beast is on rate. Arachnoid Adaption. This is probably my favorite green instant or sorcery from this set. +2/+2 is pretty strong. Reach is obviously great for defense, and the end tap makes it a nice trap. But there's also Convoke, and there's Prowess, and there's a couple other cards that care about tapping creatures. It's a really spicy combat trick. I don't know which one of these I put in. I'll put it in C for now, but I expect this to show up in other places too. So, Tax's Fall. Artifact, battle, enchantment, or creature with flying. I don't know if destroying a battle counts as defeating it or not. I'm going to assume it doesn't, but this is like the cheapest of these effects they've done. They're normally 3 mana with some other kind of side effect, like you scry or gain life or something. 2 mana for this is just straight good, and every green deck should take them. At least 2. Maybe you put a third one in the sideboard or something, but there's flying creatures in every color. There's a couple artifacts and enchantments around, but green has access to more of the destruction than the other colors. Like there's at least 2, at least 3 in green, and 1 in white. The rest of them have to be like permanent exiles or whatever, but very battle too is interesting. Blighted Burgeoning, 2 green enchantment aura. Enchant land. When the land is battlefield, incubate 2. And lands tap for mana as an additional 1 mana of any color. It's interesting that it's not of the color of the land. But this is okay actually, because you enchant the land, you incubate 2, and if that land was untapped, you could just immediately tap it for 2 to get a 2/2, and then keep the ramp after. C+, there's not much to destroy the enchantments, so it's pretty safe. Pumping Kavu, 3 in green Kavu for 3/3 with backup 1. Something else gets +1/+1. You would get the ability to can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less, which is fantastic for that rate and cost. That means it's either going to trade up or trade at flat level. This could be a 4/4/4 that can be blocked by 2 or less, which is a pretty good chunk of the creatures so far, but I don't think it's good enough to go C+. But it's still pretty good. Cosmic Hunger. Instant. 1 in a green. Target creature you control deals damage to power to another target creature, planeswalker, or battle. It's just good. It's not even a fight. It's just kill it almost, or nearly kill it. Crystal Carapace. 3 green enchantment aura. Gets +3/+3 and work. What the fuck? And cycling too. Oh my god. That's a C+. Protection, a big buff, and the possibility to cycle this if you're down on mana or something, or you need to fish for an answer. Vertilid's Favor, +3/+3 and green. Instant. Player searches library of basic land, puts on the battlefield, tap. Shuffles, put 2 counters on 1 target artifact or creature. That's pretty good. Not as good as the 4 mana one, but the counters and the instant speed is strong too, so. Big buff. Let's see. Blade Master, 2 for 2 that you can pay 4 to make it a 4/4. Elf matters a tiny bit. Warrior does not. Sinking 4 mana into it is not really ideal upside, but it's at least a 2/2 for 2. Potent Tracker. 2 mana for a 1/1. Untap target land. Choose target battle. If the opponent protects it, remove a defense counter. Oh, oh no. Oh, you could have a couple of these guys just stacking counters on the battles you control. That's a good dual duty mana dork there. You have land enchanted by that enchantment, you can tap for extra mana too, so. Hard to call a 1/1 C+, but mana dork is strong. And then the battle manipulation might become real too, so. Hey, is that, what's his name? The poison guy from the other place? Kaldheim? 2 green, Elf Warrior, 2/1. 3 mana for a 2/1. Backup 1 could be a 3/2, which is not relevant for the Death Touch, but giving something a +1/+1 counter in Death Touch is pretty good. Spread the Death Touch and the counters around. Timberland Ancient, 4 green tree folk, 6/5, reach trample. This is one of the more boring ones out of the like basic land cycling choices. It's not bad. Like 6 mana, 6/5 reach trampler is like C plus. But the forest cycling is the thing that really kicks it into that area. Dungeon Earth. Instant. 1 in a green. Target creature land your color 4/4 elemental creature. With haste, in addition to other types until end of turn, it must be blocked this turn if available. With the counters, that could become a pretty good buff. Must be blocked is interesting too if you are baiting stuff onto swinging at a person or a battle or something if they only have 1 or 2 blockers out. I don't really like the base power adjustments too much. Plus, could be good, but maybe not always. Warrior Thespian, Cat Druid, 1 green, 3/1. That's already pretty good, and you get to surveil twice. Plus, Wild Export, Escort, 5 mana, 4 green, Elf Warrior, 3/3. Turn target creature or battle card from your graveyard to your hand. If it would die, exile instead. It's definitely B plus, but 5 mana for a 3/3 is not as exciting. The get back is nice, but the exile hurts it a little bit too. Oh, that's a gold one. That one I don't need to put on this. That'll be the next one. Seed of Hope. It's got Teferi, Burying, Ren's Leftovers. That's sad, but 1 green instant. Mill 2 cards. Put a permanent card from one of those cards into your hand. You gain 2 life. It's not bad, but the fact that you don't get to get outside of the milled cards makes this really situational. It's like a Dredge or Storm card that you want, but bad. So far, nothing has been a straight F for me, or barely anything has been a straight D either. White starts out really strong, and it's got a good top end set of bomby creatures. Pretty good B and C section, and a solid set of C stuff. Couple situational cards that I don't think apply too often. Blue feels the weakest. I'm sure there are very strong setups for this, but like even Jin-Gitaxias is like not meant for limited. He's just not there. Black is very strong too. Lots of removal, lots of good bodies that do stuff. Strong stuff, I should say. The 1D card being that everybody mills stuff. Red also. Good couple bombs, but a really strong C and C plus section. A couple really narrow cards too. And green, top heavy green, top heavy so far. Right. We'll take another short break, maybe 5 minutes, and then I'll be back and I'm gonna power through the smaller gold and colorless sections. And just to satisfy myself, I'll look for if the draft sim stuff is up as well, but almost done. All right, I'll be back in 5 minutes. See you guys in a bit.